Hi everybody. I did my GE road test in Peterborough today and I passed. I thought I'll make a video on my route and what I did so it can help you as well. So let's start. I'm sure you already know the Drive Test Center is in Erskine Avenue in Peterborough. This is the view on Google Maps of the Drive Test Center. This is where you park your cars when you arrive for the road test. One of the tips is to park facing forward and try to park as closer to the roadside as possible. Then you can get out of the place easily because there'll be lots of movement, traffic going both sides and a lot of nervous drivers. So you want to avoid all that. The second thing is the slot number. The slots are not numbered here, but then when you go for check-in, they ask for the slot number. Just make sure you know roughly where you have parked from the roadside, so when you go inside, there's no confusion. Note on rainy days, the first 3 slots would be full of water, almost flooded, so park somewhere after the first 3 slots. So now we're all set, all ready to go, all ready. The examiner comes and she'll do all the verifications, your checks. I'm not going to go through them because you already know all that. I'm just going to run through the route. The whole idea of this road test is to prove that you're a safe driver. That means there's a lot of traffic checks involved. Starting from the time you start the vehicle and turning right to get out of the parking lot, and every turn, every curve, every intersection, and every time you signal to left or right. So here at the parking lot, before you even put the signal on, you check left, right, then you check the rear view mirror, the side mirrors, to see whether anyone coming from behind and the blind spot on the right side, then you put the signal on. If both sides has been cleared, then you creep forward. Make sure you check left side to make sure that there are no vehicles coming from the left. Then you creep forward. You make a smooth turn to the right, making sure that you don't hit the right car. That is when you align your shoulder with the bumper or front bumper of the right car. The speed limit is 20 kilometers or less depending on the traffic to the edge of the road. Before you come to the edge of the road, you should have checked your mirror and the right blind spot and turn the signal right because you'll be turning right. So there's a little curb on the right side. When you stop, make sure you're not going too close to the curb on the right side, otherwise you'll go over it and it'll be an instant fail. Once you have stopped, make sure you do a good traffic scan, check left, right, left, and your mirror again. The tip here is there's a traffic light when you check your left side. If there are any vehicles passing the traffic light, you should not move. That means if the vehicles are stopped for the red light, you can move. Same goes to the right side. There's a slight bend on the right side, so make sure there are no vehicles. See the bend? So when the both sides are clear, you turn to the right. So as soon as I turn right, I had to immediately turn to the left as well. It has to be done fast and it could be tricky as well. That includes checking the mirror and the left blind spot quickly and immediately turning to the left lane. Don't panic here, do it gently and confidently. So you come to the turn off and stop. There's no stop sign, but it's a brief stop to scan the road. Yield to the oncoming traffic. Check left, right, mirror, and the left blind spot. Make the turn when both sides are clear. It's going to be a wide turn, and as soon as you turn left, the road curves to the right. So go in the middle of the road. The speed is 50 kilometers. You'll soon come to a school zone, but no posted speed limit, so you'll have to go at 50. Road is not that smooth, a bit bumpy, so take precautions. And you'll be crossing a bicycle path too. You'll be passing about 3 minor intersections before you turn to Crawford Place. Make sure you scan left and right. Approaching Crawford Place, you check mirror, left blind check, and then put the signal on to the left. Crawford Place goes parallel to Crawford Drive. I did my 3-point turn, emergency stop, and parallel parking here. Actually, I did my parallel parking here. My parallel parking got a bit tricky because I had to park next to a car which was not parked parallel at all. But somehow I managed to do it properly, perfectly actually. Make sure you practice a lot and watch all YouTube videos. They have a lot of techniques. I came back on Crawford Place. Now this time I'm turning right. There's a stop sign, so you do your checks, which is mirror and the right blind spot check. Then you come to a complete stop. Once you stop, say 1, 2, 3. While you're doing your verifications, make sure no vehicles turning left or right from the Crawford Drive. If so, you'll have to wait. Make sure no pedestrians, no conflicts on the road before you turn right. If everything clear, you turn right. Back on Erskine Avenue, it's 50 kilometers again. When you come to the end of Erskine Avenue, you're going to make a left turn onto the Queensway. Make sure you signal only after you pass the bend. As we discussed before, this is a wide road, so make sure you're more towards the left side of the road because there are vehicles going on to the right side as well. And there's another road joining from your right as well. So don't signal early. It might lead to confusion. Only signal somewhere here. Do your verifications and come to a full stop here. Make sure there are no vehicles from both sides, left or right, before you make the turn. Don't be in a hurry. Make sure you check both sides properly. Queensway is 50 kilometers an hour. Make sure you maintain the speed because they're very particular about it. At the end of Queensway, you will be turning left at the intersection. Make sure you put your left signal on somewhere here after doing all the checks. Make sure no confusion when signaling, only 2 or 3 seconds before. If you signal somewhere here, it might create confusion, so make sure you do it after. Signal somewhere here. So before you signal, you do the mirror, shoulder check, left signal on. You come to the end of the stop line. You do a complete traffic scan. If you're few vehicles behind the stop line, make sure you don't park somewhere here. Park behind this turnoff. Stay somewhere here. If there's a truck parked in front of you, don't stay too close to the truck. So you do the traffic checks left, right, left. When the light turns green, you do a blind spot check to the left and then you turn left. Speed limit on the parkway is 60 kilometers. As soon as you turn to left, depending on the traffic, you are expected to reach 60 kilometers and then do a lane change to the slow lane on the right. If there are traffic, you won't be able to do this, but if there's not, they will expect you to do this without you being instructed. If there's traffic, you just follow the traffic speed. You get few busy intersections here. Make sure you do the traffic checks, mirror and the left right. Make sure to maintain 60 kilometer speed if possible. Once you pass this intersection, which is the Sir Sanford Fleming and the Parkway, you'll be entering the ramp to enter the highway. As of 7th July 2021, there's construction going on, so the speed limit is 80 kilometers. So as soon as you pass the lights at the intersection, you have to start speeding gradually up to 80 once you reach the ramp. And on the highway, it becomes a single lane, so it might be a bit overwhelming or bit tricky, but you can do it. Good thing about this situation is you don't have to get to 100, but depending on the traffic speed, you must get to 80 before the ramp, before you enter. Let's say you're doing this road test when there's no construction. By the time you get to the ramp, before you merge, you have to get to 100. Now let's say you have achieved 80 kilometers or 100 kilometers when there's no construction. As soon as you start seeing the vehicles, you put your signal left and check your blind spot. Do many blind spot checks as possible to make sure that there are no vehicles coming to block you. You enter the highway smoothly and gently and make sure you maintain 80 kilometers. So you won't be able to do a lane change on the 115 South. When you come to the exit, when you see the exit, you start checking your blind spot and the mirror, then you signal to the right. Tip here is don't signal early. Wait until you see the exit line, then few meters before that, 2 to 3 seconds early, you signal right. You would be checking your mirror, right shoulder check, signal right, you check the shoulder check again, and then you enter the exit line. You make sure you cancel the signal. You do not brake on the highway. Make sure you don't do that. As soon as you enter exit, take your foot off the accelerator. Speed limit on the exit way is 70 kilometers. So in my case, the highway speed was 80. So I could brake easily to go at 70. At the end of the exit way, you come to a full stop at Airport Road. It's a one-way stop only for you. Come to a full stop, check left, right, left. It's a kind of a uphill onto your left, so make sure there are no vehicles coming from your left and as well as your right. And if you see any vehicles, do not proceed. The airport road is a country road, so the speed limit is 80. Make sure you check the blind spot and the mirror before you proceed. I felt this part is a bit challenging because you have to get from 0 to 80 within few seconds. Make sure you are at 80 before you reach the bridge. So just passing the bridge, you have to turn to the right to enter the ramp, again to enter 115 North. Just make sure you do the mirror and blind spot check before you signal right, and this happens very quickly. So as soon as you signal right, you'll be entering the ramp and the speed is 40 kilometers. So once you enter the ramp, you have to brake slowly to get to 40 kilometers, which is the speed limit on the ramp. Do it gently. Don't touch the lines on both sides, the yellow or the white line. As soon as the curve ends, straightens, you start accelerating to 100. No constructions on this part, so you have to accelerate to 100 to enter the highway. Signal left at this point. It would be a rapid acceleration again from 40 to 100. You have to make sure you get to 100 before you merge. You see these broken lines? This is where you have to actually enter. It's another very short ramp. So make sure you have already got to 100 and your signal is already on left. Then you do few blind spot checks, then enter at these broken lines. Make sure there's no conflict. You're not cutting any vehicle off. Just make sure you enter as soon as you reach the broken lines, not before that. So I did my lane changes here on this side, on this leg. So as soon as you do the lane changes, you will see the speed drops to 80 kilometers from 100. Make sure you don't brake. Just take your foot off the accelerator. It will come gradually to 80 as soon as you see the 80 begins. All these things are happening too fast, so make sure you have practiced enough. You know what to do. There's no need to panic. It's all doable. It's just you have to do a bit of planning ahead. Just please make sure that you don't brake at all on the highway. As soon as you see the 80 begin sign, prepare to do the mirror check and the blind spot check because you will be exiting soon. It becomes a single lane here, so all the moving traffic will be in one lane. After doing all your checks, signal right, do the blind spot check again and enter the exit line. Exit lane is 60 kilometers, so as soon as you exit the highway, not before, after you exit the highway, you have to gradually brake to come at 60. You're not supposed to brake anywhere on the highway unless it's an emergency. Try to come at 60 kilometers on the exit lane, though many people say they allow 60 or more than 60. So you're coming back to this intersection and you'll be going straight this time. Stay on the right lane, not the middle lane. There's traffic lights. You go at 60 kilometers. Just check the right here. There's a lane joining the same road. They have a yield sign, but nevertheless check the right, and this is a major intersection, so make sure you check your traffic checks left, right, and check your blind spots. Come on the parkway at 60. You might be asked to turn right from the Crawford Drive, but in my case I went straight. Maintain 60 kilometers. You might be asked to do lane changes. As soon as you pass Costco, you'll have to do a lane change to the right. So do the checks, mirror, right blind spot, and it's a 50 kilometer entrance to the lane. So make sure you go at 50 from 60. Signal right. There's a yield sign, so you have to give priority to the people who are coming on the left. Make sure you double check, and if there are no vehicles, you proceed. If there are vehicles coming, you stop and give them priority. Strictly maintain 50 kilometers on Queensway. As soon as you reach the drive test center, don't be in a hurry to turn. I know it's the last leg of your drive test, but make sure you do it gently and cautiously. Just check and double check. Make sure there are no vehicles coming from your left and right, and do your verifications, your blind spot and the mirror and the left signal, and safely enter the drive test center. There'll be lots of people coming in and out from the drive test center as well. Be vigilant. As soon as you enter, maintain the speed limit of 20 or less. You might be asked to do a forward parking if you have done parallel parking. So choose one of the closest to the road. Don't go too far. So if you did all these steps correctly, your examiner would say, "You are passed. You're passed." I know these are the words you've been longing to hear. I did. And what a relief. So make sure you practice this route this can be a bit challenging because it's a shorter route and short ramps to the highway. But I know with practice you can do any challenging road as a G driver. So good luck, all the best. This is my first video, so please excuse if there are any mistakes. I just wanted to post this as soon as possible so that everybody gets a chance to know the route. Good luck and leave a comment if you like the video. Thank you. Good luck.